Hello everybody, welcome to G&Hreview. So today I'm going to talk about 4K. If you don't live in a freaking cave, you might have heard of 4K. But what is it, you might ask? It's a resolution. So you have your 1080p screen, your full HD screen. Yeah, there's a freaking ton of names to say that shit, but 1080p screen, okay? And then you have your 4K or UHD screen. Okay, the basic difference between them is that the 4K display has 4 times the pixel of the 1080p one. Okay, so let's say, for example, you have a 50-inch TV, okay? It's a 1080p one. When you go closer to it, you'll be able to see the pixels pretty easily because 50-inch is quite big, okay? If you have a 4K one, well, it's gonna be way more difficult to differentiate the pixels. Basically, 1 pixel on your 1080p screen equals to 4 pixels on the 4K TV. So the image is going to be way more sharper on the 4K one because, yeah, there's just 4 times. I mean, that's a lot more detail. Every pixel show a little bit of detail, and in the 4K one there's like 4 times the amount of pixel, so it just looks way better. That's my whole point. 4K is still pretty new, so there's not a whole lot of 4K content, but there's still a little bit of it out there. You can find 4K stuff on YouTube. Yeah, big YouTubers upload their videos in 4K now. And then there's Netflix, which has a few TV shows which are in 4K. You've got Breaking Bad and House of Cards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you need a 4K TV with a smart 4K TV to be able to have the 4K content. Like if you go on the normal website of Netflix with your computer, you won't be able to have the 4K video. So yeah, it's kind of rare for now. Actually, the 4K on the internet is pretty compressed, so a 1080p Blu-ray is pretty much equal to 4K on the internet. Because yeah, if it wasn't compressed, it would take so much bandwidth to transfer, so it would be freaking impossible. So there's also 4K Blu-rays coming in late 2015, so yeah, this will be very good. It's gonna be way better than 4K streaming, because in a Blu-ray you have the full video without compression or with less compression. It's gonna look way better. Another way to have 4K content on your TV is obviously gaming, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty expensive. You need to have like a 2 to 3 grand computer, so it's really not cheap. You need to have very powerful hardware to power all those pixels. But if you do it, it's going to look freaking amazing. And I mean, like, if you play like games with good textures, it's going to look awesome, like BF4 and all that good stuff. Like AAA titles will look incredible on a 4K screen. Be aware, out there's a few TVs that you can buy that only have HDMI 1.4, and yeah, HDMI 1.4 only supports 30 Hz, so it's kind of slow to play games. It's kind of not a high enough frame rate to play games. So you need to have HDMI 2.0 or a DisplayPort 1.2 to be able to have 60 Hz, 4K at 60 Hz. But yeah, most people won't even understand what I just said. Let's talk about a bit about the price of 4K. It's really impressive. Lately, like the price of 4K TVs and monitors has really dropped insanely. I mean, a few years ago, it was like 3 or 4 grand to have a 4K display. $600 to like $1,000, you can have like a pretty good display. It's not gonna be freaking super awesome, but it's gonna do the trick for most people. And yeah, so it's getting cheaper and cheaper, and And yeah, in a few years it's gonna get accessible to most people, and yeah, there will be more content, and it's gonna be way more easy to have 4K. The big question, is it worth it right now? Well, I would say if you're shopping for a TV right now, well, buying a 4K TV might be right. I mean, it's really not that expensive right now. It's like $800, and well, you can still wait a few years, and it's going to come down in price. Yeah, in a few years you should be able to get one for like $500. But seriously, it's like between a 1080p screen and a 4K one, there's quite a big difference. And like for normally, like 1080p TVs are like $500 right now, and you can get a 4K one for $800. So I would recommend jumping right to 4K because it's gonna be way more future proof. I mean, 4K is going to be there for a long time because it's a very big resolution, and honestly, going higher than that would be kind of useless. And yeah, there's still 8K out there, but seriously, 4K will be enough for quite a bit of time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, yeah, like, dislike, comment. Give us your feedback, like if you didn't like the video, if you hate us, just like tell us why. I want to know why. If you dislike the video, just leave a comment and tell me why. And yeah, we really appreciate your feedback. This was G&H Review.